Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. And as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today, I'm going to do an analysis on one of my all-time favorite singers. Long before there was Michael Jackson, Donny Osmond, Ralph Tresvant, and the list goes on of young powerhouse singers in their early years. There was a young guy by the name of Frankie Lymon. He was in part of a group called Frankie Lymon's and the Dreamers. Frankie Lymon and the Teenagers. What am I thinking about? But as I get older and my knowledge for music has gotten better, my appreciation that was already there for other artists even grew more, because I listen to Frankie Lymon stuff now, which was done 40 some years ago, if not longer, and it just blows me away. I'm gonna leave a link down here so you can check out Diana. What was so amazing about that little guy? Not only that he had a powerhouse voice that sounded like an adult, his phrasings were like an adult. Because when you listen to Diana, especially at the end, he's just tearing it up. And it's the phrasings. I'm saying to myself, did someone coach him to sing it this way or word it this way, or did it just come naturally out of this little guy? And even if it was coached, it would still amaze me, because when you that little, all the coaching in the world ain't gonna help you too much, because you're not at that point where you can do this. But apparently Frankie Lymon was at that point that he could do that. And it's so unfortunate that, he left the way he left, because one of the most important music movies I've ever seen that really depict the music industry to a T is Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Because the music industry is just that ruthless. When they have no more use for you, get the blank out of here. Get out of here. Even though you've made us millions of dollars and continue to make us millions of dollars to this day, I don't have any more use for you. And it's so unfortunate that he became a heroin addict. And it's interesting, the comparison between him and Michael Jackson. They both left here too soon under circumstances of drug use or overuse or overdosing on drugs. And it's the music industry that pushes these people to that point, because it's just really sad that, once they don't feel that they can continue to make the kind of money off you as they were doing, they get rid of it. Because Frankie Lymon still had a good voice. Because what happened with Michael Jackson, well, not so much Michael Jackson, because I'm going to tell you what Michael Jackson did to prevent that. He learned a lesson from the Frankie Lymon story to go in another direction. With Frankie Lymon, once he got older, his voice changed. He went into puberty, his voice changed, and he still had a pretty good singing voice. But they wanted more Why Do Fools Fall in Love and Diana and those types of songs, which he couldn't sing in that register anymore, because he was becoming an adult, a young man. So they felt they had no more use for him, and unfortunately, the dark side kicked in, and the heroin, and he died in his grandmother's bathroom a day before he came to New York, or the next day he came to New York to revive his career. And the night before he got a chance to try to do that, he OD'd. And Michael Jackson, that situation. But with Michael Jackson, and a lot of people don't realize this, Michael Jackson was taking hormone therapy to keep his voice high. So because he didn't want to, become another Frankie Lymon, as far as to say, well, I don't sound like that no more. And, every time they think of me, they think of that little tiny dude that could sing like that, but I don't sing like that anymore. So, Michael Jackson went to the extreme to try to prevent what happened to Frankie Lymon. But Frankie Lymon was just an unbelievable talent. And like I said, the movie, out of all the music movies I've ever seen, that movie hit the nail on the head, because that's just how ruthless the music industry is. And as I watched that movie, as you get older, you look at music more of a business, because it's the music business. It's just not the music. And you have to treat it that way. And some of the decisions that you make are not going to be popular, but they're going to be decisions that need to be made. And sometimes you have to be the bad guy to implement this, because in the movie, the teenagers were quite upset that Frankie Lymon was going solo. But realistically, Frankie Lymon was the group. If you took the teenagers out of the equation, just put some old guys in there to do background woo-wah, it would have not changed. I mean, it would have not altered their sound or took them down. Unfortunately, if you're not a good enough singer to hold your own at some point, you're gonna get left behind. I mean, that's the reality of it. Because it's nice to be able to, in a perfect world, you got a group and the lead singer goes solo. And now you able to go solo too because you can sing as well as him, even though he was the front guy. But in a lot of situations, it's quite obvious when you hear a group of guys who's the best singer in the group, who's the best looking one, who's the most marketable one. So and then it wasn't that Frankie Lymon wanted to go solo. His management company felt that this is the best move for you and us, because this group thing is kind of like dead weight. We don't need all these guys. We just need you and some great singers. I mean, some great writers and musicians to record your stuff. So as you get older, you look at it differently. Because when I first seen that movie many years ago, it's like, man, that was scandalous. They should have kept the teenagers together. But it was a business decision. It wasn't that they were deliberately focusing on these guys to get them out of here. It's like, we can make more money doing this. And in any given business, whether it's the music business or it's just the supermarket business or the clothing business, it's what's best for the company. But I thought I would post this video because I was always a huge fan of Frankie Lymon. And then after watching that movie, I became a bigger fan because I was able to get a little more insight on the man, the group, the circumstances, and how the music industry robbed them. Because if I'm not mistaken, Frankie Lymon and Santiago, I forgot his first name, he was in the group. They actually wrote Why Do Fools Fall in Love, and Mr. Levy came in and kind of fucked them over. Took their names off of it and put his name on there, and got all this royalty money that didn't belong to him. Because they were teenagers, and they didn't know any better about music, law and copyrights and things of that nature, and points and all that, and records sold and how much you receive off each record and things of that nature. So it's just sad that you got greedy ass people screwing over innocent, talented people, and these people die a very untimely death and a sad death. But I'm a huge fan of Frankie Lymon and the teenagers. I mean, I just love the sound of his voice, and what really kind of drew me is his wording, his voice, and his phrasings. To be a little guy, that he was doing this kind of stuff. But I encourage you guys to listen to Diana, especially the end of it. Just going, and it's like, man, he left too soon. Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching.